Sahih al-Bukhari 1561. Narrated al-Aswad. Aisha said, "We went out with the Prophet, from Medina, with the intention of performing Hajj only, and when we reached Mecca we performed tawaf round the Kaaba, and then the Prophet ordered those who had not driven the Hadi along with them to finish their Ihram. So the people who had not driven the Hadi along with them finished their Ihram. The Prophet's wives, too, had not driven the Hadi with them, so they too finished their Ihram." Aisha added, "I got my menses and could not perform tawaf round the Kaaba. So when it was the night of Hasba, i.e. when we stopped at Al-Muhasib, I said, O Allah's Messenger, everyone is returning after performing Hajj and Umrah, but I am returning after performing Hajj only." He said, "Didn't you perform tawaf round the Kaaba the night we reached Mecca?" I replied in the negative. He said, "Go with your brother to Tanim and assume the Ihram for Umrah, and after performing it, come back to such and such a place." On that Safiya said, "I feel that I will detain you all." The Prophet said, "O Akra Halka, didn't you perform tawaf of the Kaaba on the day of sacrifice?" i.e. tawaf al-Ifada. Safiya replied in the affirmative. He said to Safiya, "There is no harm for you to proceed on with us." Aisha added, "After returning from Umrah, the Prophet met me while he was ascending from Mecca, and I was descending to it, or I was ascending and he was descending." Sahih al-Bukhari 1562. Narrated Aisha. We set out with Allah's Messenger to Mecca in the year of the Prophet's last Hajj. Some of us had assumed Ihram for Umrah only, some for both Hajj and Umrah, and others for Hajj only. Allah's Apostle assumed Ihram for Hajj. So whoever had assumed Ihram for Hajj or for both Hajj and Umrah did not finish the Ihram till the day of sacrifice. See Hadith Number 631, 636, and 639. Sahih al-Bukhari 1563. Narrated Marwan bin al-Hakam. I saw Uthman and Ali. Uthman used to forbid people to perform Hajjat Tamattu and Hajj al-Qiran, Hajj and Umrah together, and when Ali saw this act of Uthman, he assumed Ihram for Hajj and Umrah together, saying, Labbaik for Umrah and Hajj, and said, I will not leave the tradition of the Prophet, on the saying of somebody. Sahih al-Bukhari 1564. Narrated Ibn Abbas. The people of the pre-Islamic period used to think that to perform Umrah during the months of Hajj was one of the major sins on earth, and also used to consider the month of Safar as a forbidden, a sacred, month, and they used to say, when the wounds of the camel's back heal up, after they return from Hajj, and the signs of those wounds vanish and the month of Safar passes away, then, at that time, Umrah is permissible for the one who wishes to perform it. In the morning of the 4th of Dhul Hijjah, the Prophet and his companions reached Mecca, assuming Ihram for Hajj, and he ordered his companions to make their intentions of the Ihram for Umrah only, instead of Hajj, so they considered his order as something great and were puzzled, and said, O Allah's Messenger, what kind of finishing of Ihram is allowed? The Prophet replied, finish the Ihram completely like a non-Muhrim, you are allowed everything. Sahih al-Bukhari 1565. Narrated Abu Musa came to the Prophet from Yemen and was assuming Ihram for Hajj, and he ordered me to finish the Ihram after performing the Umrah. Sahih al-Bukhari 1566. Narrated Ibn Umar. Hafsa, the wife of the Prophet, said, O Allah's Messenger, why have the people finished their Ihram after performing Umrah, but you have not finished your Ihram after performing Umrah? He replied, I have matted my hair and garlanded my hadi. So I will not finish my Ihram till I have slaughtered my hadi. Sahih al-Bukhari 1567. Narrated Shubi Abu Jamra Nasr bin Imran ad-Dubai said, I intended to perform Hajjat Tamattu when the people advised me not to do so. I asked Ibn Abbas regarding it and he ordered me to perform Hajjat Tamattu. Later I saw in a dream someone saying to me, Hajj Mabrur, Hajj performed in accordance with the Prophet's tradition without committing sins and accepted by Allah, and an accepted Umrah. So I told that dream to Ibn Abbas. He said, this is the tradition of Abul Qasim. Then he said to me, stay with me and I shall give you a portion of my property. I, Shubi, asked, why did he invite you? He, Abu Jamra, said, because of the dream which I had seen. Sahih al-Bukhari 1568. Narrated Abu Shihab. I left for Mecca for Hajjat Tamattu assuming Ihram for Umrah. I reached Mecca 3 days before the day of Tarwiyah, 8th Dhul Hijjah. Some people of Mecca said to me, your Hajj will be like the Hajj performed by the people of Mecca, i.e. you will lose the superiority of assuming Ihram from the Miqat. So I went to Atta asking him his view about it. He said, Jabir bin Abdullah narrated to me, I performed Hajj with Allah's Messenger, on the day when he drove camels with him. The people had assumed Ihram for Hajj al-Ifrad. The Prophet ordered them to finish their Ihram after Tawaf round the Kaaba and between Safa and Marwa and to cut short their hair and then to stay there, in Mecca, as non-Muhrims till the day of Tarwiyah, i.e. 8th of Dhul Hijjah, when they would assume Ihram for Hajj, and they were ordered to make the Ihram with which they had come as for Umrah only. They asked, how can we make it Umrah, Tamattu, as we have intended to perform Hajj? The Prophet said, do what I have ordered you. Had I not brought the Hadi with me, I would have done the same, but I cannot finish my Ihram till the Hadi reaches its destination, i.e. is slaughtered, So, they did what he ordered them to do. Sahih al-Bukhari 1569. Narrated Sa'id bin al-Musayyab. Ali and Uthman differed regarding Hajjat Tamattu while they were at Usfan, a familiar place near Mecca. Ali said, I see you want to forbid people to do a thing that the Prophet did. When Ali saw that, he assumed Ihram for both Hajj and Umrah. Sahih al-Bukhari 1570. Narrated Jabir bin Abdullah. We came with Allah's Messenger to Mecca, and we were saying, Labayka Allahumma labayk for Hajj. Allah's Messenger ordered us to perform Umrah with that Ihram instead of Hajj.